CBS FM HD2, New York.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Thursday. It's September 25th, 2025. So much to do. We always talk about the fastest 2 hours in sports talk. Well, today, hyperdrive. We've got Orlovsky. We've got Chris Sims. We've got Dan Hicks talk a little Ryder Cup. And, of course, we have you as well, my esteemed co-host. There's so much to do, so much to hit on. So let's get to it. Rather than me set it up, let's do it. The Mets lose again. Just when they have what could be the kind of win that you'll talk about and say, well, that's where it turned around, coming back from 6-1 down to win 9-7, they lay a complete egg last night at Wrigley Field. They lose 10-3. But they're still in first place because the Reds lost in extra innings and the Diamondbacks lost in extra innings to the Dodgers, Reds to the Pirates. So whoever's going to win this third wild card is going to be the last man standing, not because they took it and grabbed it by the throat and said, we want this, we deserve this, we're good enough for this. No, none of the three of them deserve it. None of them. The Mets have put their whole season on the back of three kids. And at this point, one seems like he's up to the task. And that's the guy who's starting tonight, Nolan McLean. Jonah Tong pitched yesterday and went 2 innings. He got 6 outs, 5 earned runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. So I understand all the excitement about the kids. I really do. But do you know that in 5 starts, Jonah Tong, who's 22 years old and is being pushed to be up here because the Mets don't have pitching, has a 7.71 ERA. 7.71 ERA. So when the Mets sneak into the postseason, and they will, how are they winning games? How are they winning games? They have no defense. They have very little starting pitching. And they have one reliever in the bullpen that you really feel comfortable with, Edwin Diaz. That's why when they had a chance to win on Tuesday, they had to go to Diaz for 2 innings. I don't blame Mendoza. They had to go to him for 2 innings because they don't have enough to get it to Edwin Diaz to pitch tonight. So even if the Mets were in a situation where they could win last night, they couldn't have used Diaz a night after he pitched 2 innings. How are you winning 2 out of 3 wild card games? No days off. How are you doing it? David Peterson has been awful. Kodai Senga is not close to coming back up. Minaya has not been good. Holmes can't give you a length. They both pitched yesterday in relief. You got Sprout, you got McLean, you got Tong, and you got trouble. Shame, by the way, shame on the Reds. You lose 2 games to the Pirates. You have a chance to make the playoffs. The Mets are opening the door for you to kick it down. I don't know why you'd kick a door down if it was open, but they're opening it for you, and you're not walking through. That's why I've been telling you for a month, the Reds aren't good enough. You have a chance to grab a postseason spot and you can't beat the Pirates? Now I understand Paul Skeens is going to shut you down. And he had 6 shutout innings yesterday. But then you have 3 innings against the Pirate relievers. Remember, they traded David Bednar. And you did come back to tie the game. At the end, down 3-2, you have the bases loaded. And Noelvi Marte hits a ground ball to third. They step on the bag. That's it. Ball game over. You would have been in first. You would have been in the third wild card. Because with the Met loss, if you had tied them, You have the tiebreaker. Now, I give the Diamondbacks a little more leeway. You're playing the Dodgers. But the Diamondbacks came back to tie it, and they couldn't win it in extra innings. It's the third wild card that nobody wants. Or, let me amend that. It's the third wild card that no one's good enough to grab. You know, Mendoza said something yesterday after the game. He said, we have to be better. What's the old Bill Parcells line? You are what your record says you are. Since the middle of June, the Mets have been one of the worst teams in baseball. That's over half the season. So you could say we have to be better, but do you have the ability to be better? Vientos, playing third base yesterday, throws a ball away, lets a Cubs run score. The previous night, 2 errors by McNeil, a misplay in the outfield by Juan Soto that had a 95% catch probability. It's unbelievable. And they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs by default because the teams that are chasing them are not good enough. The Mets are 81-77. They have a game left against the Cubs tonight, and then 3 in Miami against a Marlins team that, before they got slapped around by Philadelphia last night, has been one of the hottest teams in baseball. What are the Mets hanging their hat on? There's no consistency, and you know what? A team that's not good is not consistent. They'll give you a great game, they'll give you 2 trash games, and they'll come back and they'll give you a great game. Here's the Met hope. By default, they take the third wild card. And then they go to play the Dodgers in a best-of-3 in L.A. And don't look now, the Dodger bullpen is brutal. Brutal. Maybe the Mets could ugly their way into the NLDS. Maybe. Never dismiss anything. But this team has been an utter embarrassment since the middle of June. No other way to put it. Utter embarrassment. They can't win games they have to win. They can't beat teams that they should beat, i.e. the Nationals, i.e. the Marlins. And we're still talking tough every time they win a game? Oh, there's the turnaround. This is the turnaround. There is no turnaround. They're not good. It's like telling the heavy-set kid in gym class, climb the rope. Can't. I speak from experience. I couldn't. You could say all you want, we have to be better. Michael, you have to climb up that rope. Michael can't. The Mets can't be better. This is what they are. You don't go this far into the season and not put a run together and then expect it to all of a sudden happen. But I stand by what I've been saying and preaching to you for months. They're making the playoffs. The Reds can't beat the Pirates? Stop yourself. What an embarrassment. So what do we have coming up for the Reds? They play Pittsburgh. It's underway right now. And then they're at Milwaukee. Their only hope is that Milwaukee has everything clinched. I think Milwaukee has a 2-game lead for the best record in the National League over the Phillies. So nothing's clinched yet. Arizona has the Dodgers at 3:40, final game of that set. And then they go to San Diego. And it looks like San Diego pretty much is set where they are. And the Mets have the 3 games in Miami against the Marlins. This is what the playoff race is in the National League. The Mets are 81-77. They're essentially a 500 team. Arizona's 80-78. Go get them, guys. Go crazy. Go crazy, in the words of Jack Buck. A $340 million embarrassment that they're hinging their whole season on 3 neophyte kids. And please, we had a caller the other day. I was thinking about this as I was driving to the stadium. Well, we've had injuries. We've had injuries to the pitching staff. We lost Griffin Canning. We lost McGill. Oh, okay. Let's turn the page and cross the river. The Yankees lost Garrett Cole. The Yankees lost Clark Schmidt. The Yankees didn't have Luis Hill for 4 months. Oh, that's 60% of their rotation. Don't talk to me about injuries because you lost Griffin Canning. You're embarrassing yourself bringing up stuff like that. You know what the problem is? This team wasn't put together smartly. You gambled the whole thing on your pitching lab and Jeremy Hefner, who's great at what he does, but a magician can only do so much. If there's no rabbit in the hat, you can't pull it out of the hat. You can't keep throwing reclamation projects at Jeremy Hefner and expect him to be great. The starting staff that he gave Jeremy Hefner, even before the injuries, simply not good enough. So don't talk to me about injuries. When the team across town is now in first place, has been the best team since the middle of August, without Cole, without Schmidt, and without Heel. Stop. Stop yourself. Without Loizaga, without Cousins. Stop. You have no right to talk about injuries. Good teams overcome injuries. Every team has injuries. Oh, the Phillies are running away with the East. Their best pitcher is out for the year. The best pitcher they have is out for the year. Every team has injuries. The Dodgers have been ravaged by injuries. They're in first place in the West. Stop yourself. Don't talk about injuries. Talk about the team's not good enough. That's what you talk about. Let's go back to the Yanks. 8-1 over the White Sox. 2 home runs by Judge, giving him 51. Home run by Grisham, giving him 34. Judge now becomes just the 4th player in baseball history to have 50 or more home runs in 4 separate seasons, and only the 2nd clean one. Ruth and Judge, that's it. And then you get the asterisk with Sosa and McGuire. That's it. The Yankees, since last Wednesday, when they were 5 games behind the Blue Jays, they've gone 6-1. And the Blue Jays have gone 1-6. I never thought the Yankees had a chance to win the East when they were going 20-31. Never. I thought they had a chance to get to the playoffs, but to win the East, they're tied for first place in the American League East because the Blue Jays can't get out of their own way. And playoffs make strange bedfellows because Yankee fans have been rooting for the Red Sox the last 2 days, and the Red Sox have hammered Toronto. Hammered Toronto. And the Yankees have not limped in. They've won 7 of 8, 10 of 13, 21 of 29. They're a season-high 22 games over 500. They're 90-68. That's the same record as the Blue Jays. Now, the Blue Jays have the tiebreaker because they were 8-5 against the Yankees in the regular season. But I said yesterday, if the Yankees win out, which is certainly a possibility, I don't think the Blue Jays could win out. Not the way they're playing. Not the way George Springer is saying that, well, the league wants the Yankees to win. Nonsense. It's amazing the things that people say when there's stress. Max Fried was great again. 7 innings pitched, 1 run. In the last 7 starts, 1.55 ERA and 46 in the 3rd innings. And tonight, Carlos Rodon against Davis Martin. They actually have a chance to have the best record in the American League after everything that went on. Color me surprised. Not at all surprised that they're going to the playoffs. I'm not surprised by that. They always do. The fact that they could win the American League East and get a bye and have the best record in the league is shocking. And the collapse by the Blue Jays would be somewhat historic if not for the Tigers saying, hold my beer. The Tigers had a 15-and-a-half game lead over the Guardians. Now they're trailing the Guardians by 1 in the American League Central. It's unfathomable. It's the biggest deficit that's ever been made up in the history of Major League Baseball. And it has turned the final week of the season into a roller coaster ride. Now, in the midst of all of this, Judge hits his 50th and 51st. And yesterday, Cal Raleigh hit his 59th and 60th. And although that is a wondrous season that he's having, all the experts coming out, the guys at Major League Baseball Network, all the other experts, they seem, well, Raleigh's the MVP. Every single category other than home runs and RBIs, Judge beats Raleigh. Every single one. His batting average is over 100 points higher than Cal Raleigh. He scored way more runs. His OPS is higher. His OPS plus is higher. Both WARs, Fangraphs, and Baseball Reference higher. Everything. Walks. He's had 34 intentional walks. If Raleigh has walked 34 times intentionally, he wouldn't have 60 home runs. I don't want to take anything away from Raleigh. That is not my intent. And I think that the fact that he gets 60, and maybe he could even break the American League record, there's a chance he's going to beat Judge for the MVP. I don't think it's right. I think Judge is the MVP. But they're going to say, well, 60 home runs, he's a catcher, never been. Get it. He's having an unbelievable year. But I didn't know there were only 2 categories when you're looking at who the MVP is. Because there are a lot of other categories where Judge leads by a lot. By a lot. I don't get it. I mean, there's so much certitude out there. Well, it's going to be Raleigh. Well, how come when Judge set the rookie record for home runs with 52 in 2017, he didn't win over Altuve? Because they talk about, well, Altuve had the higher batting average. Oh, okay. Judge has a batting average over 100 points higher than Raleigh, but now it doesn't matter. So you don't think that there's Yankee bias, and you don't think that there's Judge fatigue? Oh, let's find the new flavor of the month. Let's not give it to Judge again. Let's give it to Cal Raleigh. Now, would it be an outright theft if Cal Raleigh won the MVP? No, absolutely not. He's having a season for the ages. No catcher's ever done this. No switch hitter's ever done this. I get all of it. But the thing that gets me is the people that say, oh, Raleigh's the MVP. Really? Dig down through the numbers. Tell me if you're that sure he's the MVP. All right, we have a lot of guests, so let's take some phone calls right now. We'll start up with Jack in Manhattan.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, Jack.
Hey, how's it going? I'm a Yankee fan, so I don't particularly care what happens to the Mets, to be honest with you. But I listen to you. I live in New York. I follow the team closely, and I just don't understand how there is not more fire going at David Stearns. Like it blows my mind and makes my blood boil that these guys with the most coveted jobs on earth, being GMs of these teams, can make such explicitly horrible decisions, and it's just like they just get away with it. I mean, he explicitly said that he does not want to get high-priced pitchers, that this was the staff that he was going to put together. He was brought in to basically bring his genius of pitching staff, and it's blowing up in his face. It was a colossally bad decision. Yep. How is this not a fireable offense for David Stearns?
Well, I don't know because last year it worked, Jack. That's what it comes down to. Last year it actually worked. So he was emboldened and did it again. And you can also look, well, he played a big role in building the Milwaukee team that has the best record in baseball right now. So you don't fire somebody because they had one bad year. Maybe Maybe he has an epiphany now and says, you know what? I do need that number one starter. He put together a staff with a bunch of number threes. That's what he did. Manaya's a number 3. Montas is a number 5. Kodai Senga, I mean, people dream about him being a number 1. Can't stay healthy. He's not a number 1. At the best, he's a weak 2. Clay Holmes is a 4. McLean, maybe one day he's going to be a number 1, and he's their number 1 right now. Hey, a little secret. Billy Epler's draft pick. Not David Stern. David Stern is going to come under some fire. But to get rid of him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's too smart a baseball mind. Let's go to Nas in Queens. Nas.
Hey, Michael. So I'm not sure if Garrett Cole has a trade clause, but do you think the Yankees should consider moving Garrett Cole and bringing in some younger pieces? Our pitching has been pretty good this year, so maybe if we could get some younger talent to build around Fried and Rondon. What do you think about that?
Well, let me give you my answer with a question to you. How much more certain would the Yankees be about going to the World Series if Garrett Cole was there with Fried and Rodon? Well, he's gone because there is obviously the Yankees would be in the driver's seat if that was the top 3 pitchers. Right now, we're wondering who the third starter is going to be in the playoffs. You wouldn't be wondering it. It would be Rodon. Cole would start game 1. Fried would start game 2. Rodon would start game 3. That's the way it was built. Of course, you don't trade Garrett Cole. And he does have a no-trade clause. But you don't even think about it. Well, you've got young pitchers coming up through your system. Well, what young pitchers do you want to bring in? You've got Schlittler. You've got Warren. You've got kids down in the minor leagues that are outstanding. You're going to get Clark Schmidt back. No, that's a non-starter. You don't even think about doing that. You don't even think about doing it. Javier in Queens. Javier.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for taking the call. You got to give me a second, Michael, because I've been trying to get on with you for like a week now. I still love you, Michael. You eviscerated my question last week, even though that last caller had a much dumber question. You called my question dumb. But I want to highlight you, Michael. Last week in Minnesota, when those the 2 Yankee fans got engaged, do you remember that, Michael?
Yep.
So I don't know if you noticed. I think you noticed because you notice everything, Michael. The gentleman who got engaged was wearing a Judge jersey, 99, with the name Judge on the back. Did it take everything inside of you, Michael, to not call that man a fraud on TV while he was getting engaged?
Well,
that's my first question.
I try not to do that on TV because so many Yankee fans, for some reason or another, think it's okay to get jerseys with the name on the back when the team that they root for, they're famous for not having the names on the back. If that's the way you want to roll and people say, hey, the jerseys with the names on the back are less expensive, okay, I can't spend people's money. But my thing would be, if I can't get a jersey that doesn't have a name on the back, then I'm not going to buy it. I'll get a T-shirt with a name on the back if I need a name on the back. I just love the fact that people that wear 22s to the ballpark now, right? 22s that don't have a name on the back, they probably bought it for Soto, but now you could probably wear it for Rice. Why would you ever have a jersey with the name on the back? But they sell it at the stadium, and people buy it. Don't get it. Don't get it. Tony in Queens. Tony.
Hey, Michael, how are you? A pleasure talking to you.
What's up, man?
I agree with you about the Judge and Raleigh. Like it will make me sick to my stomach if Raleigh's being given the MVP because he has having an outstanding season, and MLB has to have other awards. But when you look at it, and I've been having arguments with this with coworkers and friends of mine, Judge is having the best season out of the 2 of them by a mile. Yep. In every category. And when you look at the 2 categories that Raleigh is ahead, it's not by a lot, right? So now with the 2 home runs, just his 9 home runs and I don't know how many RBIs, but just bats over 100 points on him. It has more hit. He has a better season. So that will make me sick to my stomach if that happens.
Well, I don't want you to get sick to your stomach because, as I said, Tony, Raleigh's having a great year. In any other year, if Judge was not having an historic year, Raleigh is the hands-down MVP. The thing that bothers me when people say there's no competition, it's hands down Raleigh. You're wrong. It shouldn't be hands down Raleigh. Judge is having a year that you don't see many people have. The OPS off the charts. He scored many more runs than Raleigh. He's walked way more than Raleigh. He's got 100 points more in his batting average. Again, Raleigh's beating him in home runs and RBIs, and that's a sexy category. But it's not as if Aaron Judge has 29 home runs. He has 51 home runs. And when Aaron Judge crushed Altuve in home runs in 2017, they didn't give him the MVP. They gave it to Altuve. So why the double standard? Get ready for a new Monday Night Football experience with the ESPN New York Couchcast when the Jets take on the Dolphins for the Week 4 divisional matchup. Settle in on the couch and join the all-cast with all your favorite ESPN New York personalities for instant reactions, unfiltered commentary, and behind-the-mic banter. Stream live on your YouTube page from kickoff to the final whistle. It's going to be a good time. Really, join in. Grab your snacks and watch the game with the pros. It's the ESPN New York Couchcast, presented by Calandra's Bakery, Jacob's Pickles, and driven by the All-American Ford Auto Group, the #1 Ford Auto Group in the tri-state area. Shop allamericanAutoGroup.com. The date again, it's this Monday, September 29th, starting at 7 p.m. on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. When we come back, Dan Orlovsky will talk about Jackson Dart taking over the reins for the Giants. Also, at the end of the interview, Dan Orlovsky tweeted out today, Cal Raleigh hands down the MVP in the American League. We got to get to the bottom of that as well. It's the K Show, rolling till 3, right here on 880 ESPN.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Record numbers of residents are getting quality, affordable health insurance through Get Covered New Jersey. If you recently had a major life event such as marriage, pregnancy, or insurance loss, you may be eligible to enroll now. All health plans include preventive care, prescriptions, emergency services, and more. 9 in 10 enrolling get financial help, and many pay $10 a month or less. Find out if you qualify at getcovered.nj.gov. That's getcovered.nj.gov.
Shop great new offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5S for as low as $239 per month or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months. They will take any trade-in and accept all lease returns, even if you didn't lease with them. Plus, enjoy Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance, all included. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. We all turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 10-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recs. You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/timeout. That's betterhelp.com/timeout.
Well, to hit a home run, everything's got to line up perfectly, just like when you find the person you want to marry. When it's time to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. From their beautiful 2 by London collection to custom designs for any budget, they make finding the perfect ring easy. Visit London Jewelers at any of their 6 locations and tell them I sent you for the Michael K. treatment. London Jewelers, getting it just right.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Welcome back to the show. Every Thursday, 1:30, we get the opportunity to talk to our good friend Dan Orlovsky. Dan's going to be on the call Monday Night Football, Jets and the Dolphins, with Chris Fowler and Louis Riddick. But we're going to talk some Giants and Jets right now with Dan. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, bud. How are you, man?
I'm doing terrific as well. How will, in your opinion, Jackson Dart do this Sunday?
I think they'll struggle. You know, it's a big mountain to climb. I think there's going to be good moments. You know, I would fully expect that Brian Dable, Mike Kafka copy and carry over a lot of the things that Jackson majored in and was successful in college. And we saw a little bit in the preseason, so more spread out to try to clean up the picture, maybe a little bit empty backfield. I would absolutely imagine no huddle, would absolutely imagine some designed quarterback runs. So I think that there's going to be moments where they bake in some of the things that he did well in college to give him some success. That being said, 2 things. One, the Chargers defense is as good as it gets. You know, they play a zone defense that covers your concepts rather than their areas. So they have a really good idea of what you're trying to do stress-wise to them. 2, Jesse Minter is freshly out of college. So a lot of the college stuff that they, you know, may have had an advantage if it was a traditional defensive coordinator NFL-wise, and maybe they hadn't been accustomed to seeing it. I think that Minter will be ready to adjust to that quickly because of his college, the recency that he's had. So it's a big mountain to climb. I'm hoping he has some good moments, but this is a tremendous task.
All right, so let me ask you this, Dan. Why now? Everybody thought it was going to be later, and at the earliest, they thought it was going to be New Orleans, which could be a nice landing spot on the road, but instead you're giving him the Chargers, one of the better teams in the NFL. Were you surprised they made the move now?
I wasn't surprised in regards to really there wasn't much left. I know how this business is. I know how this league is, or at least from the outsider perception. Once it gets bad, you know, there's only so many moves you have left to, and I like Brian Dable and Joe saying I'm a huge Dable fan, but like there's jobs that you're trying to preserve here, right? And we don't have to run from that. And so I know at some point, you know, when you feel that pressure, it's a real thing too. Like the 2 out of the 3 games have been really poor offensively. And so there's only so much longer you could trot out the same, you know, presentation and look at the guys in your locker room eye to eye, look at the coaches eye to eye and be like, hey, let's stay here till 11 o'clock preparing to win when we don't feel like we're giving ourselves the best chance. So I wasn't surprised in regards to that because it is what it is. You know, coming off of week 1, I said, if it looks like that again, he's not going to have a choice. So didn't have much of a choice. Yes, I understand the thought of waiting till New Orleans. I probably would have preferred that as well. My thought is, they're doing it now because they feel like they have to, and they would give them the first start jitters, get it out now instead of waiting till next week when you think it's a lesser opponent. So get all those jitters out, get all that first-time experience out versus a better defense. And then maybe next week it's like, oh, okay, I've done this, much more comfortable and have more success against the lesser defensive unit.
Well, here's what worries me because, Phil Simms said yesterday, I read in the paper, that, the Giant owners see the empty seats at MetLife Stadium. And I remember one quote that always resonates with me. If you're going to listen to the fans to make personnel decisions, you're going to end up sitting with them. So, yeah, you talk about saving jobs and stuff like that. But if the guy's not ready, I mean, you could set him back and you're going to lose your job anyway. I mean, he's got to be ready, Dan.
Yeah, so yes, I don't really ever think the conversation about ready or not is real. That's something that I shy away from. I mean, you never know if you're ready to be a parent until you have kids.
Right.
You just figure it out. And I think a lot of quarterbacking is that way. I think the way I like to look at it is, does he have some type of makeup or skill or trait that allows him to survive a little bit early on? Jackson, I don't know him, but everyone talks about how mentally tough he is, how he's been built for this moment. And so you hope that mentally he's at a place where you say, okay, he can handle the ups and the downs. And then the second thing is you hope that the athleticism and the arm ability down the field gives him opportunity to have success on the field with his performance. And so yes, while you sit there and go, job, you're going to ruin him anyway. Once you choose that player at that position that early, and that you don't have a right now option. Russell was their fingers crossed hope, but we all knew this wasn't a situation where they had Aaron Rodgers or Alex Smith like the Packers or the Chiefs did, that you're going to go to them. And in parts because you've got to play well at that position. You've got to win to continue to be a part of the future. That's why it's worst case scenario for both the organization and the quarterback, but it's where they are.
Here's another thing that worries me. We're talking with Dan Orlovsky here on the Michael K. Show. The first three games, now we'll take the Dallas game out because that game doesn't seem like as much now after they got beaten up by the Bears. The offense seems so unimaginative, Dan. I mean, in the red zone last week, my 10-year-old son looked at me and said, well, what are they doing? I didn't know what to tell him. Is he going to all of a sudden become imaginative with Jackson Dart?
I hope so. I think that I totally agree. It's become one of the most uncreative offenses in the NFL. And so I sit there and I go, oh, well, how? Like, Brian Dable and Mike Kafka didn't forget about football. They didn't forget how to design and create plays that are advantageous, And so I would sit there and tell you, listen, Russell style-wise just hasn't promoted that. It just hasn't promoted creativity. He doesn't like to throw in the middle of the field. He wants to get rid of the football quickly. He only wants to throw the go ball. And so you're a little bit hampered by that. You just are. We can sit here and draw up all these cool plays, but if we know the quarterback's not going to operate them or he's not comfortable in them, then what are we doing? Brian Dable was a pretty creative offense. I remember him in Buffalo. He was about as creative as there was going when it came to some of the stuff that he did with Josh. And so I think that's part of this decision is hopefully Jackson's physical talent and ability kind of sparks more of that creativity and some of the things that they can do to create advantage, because I would agree that there hasn't been a ton of that recently.
All right, so you're doing the Jets on Monday. After their first three games, Dan, I hate to say must win, except unless it's mathematically must, and it's not that.
Yeah.
But do they have to win this game?
Yeah, I think I don't disagree with you in the regards to you kind of have to win because of, as a new coaching staff, you're preaching to your guys do it this way and do it this way and focus on this. And so you want the result to pay off if the team is buying in. And obviously the heartbreak of week 1 and then the heartbreak of week 3, you really want the opportunity to win where you can go back to your team and say, hey guys, look, if we do these things and play to this way and have our preparation this way, we're going to get the results we want more often than not. And so, yes, also the reality, you're not playing against the Chargers. You're playing against the Miami Dolphins that are struggling and searching for themselves for a win. And so, while I have been more surprised and impressed with the the Jets than I had anticipated, I don't think it's ridiculous to say you really want to get this one.
Did you have a problem with Aaron Glenn dancing after that block punt, a block field goal, and then the touchdown?
not a problem because it felt like excitement. It's his moment of him being a head coach. Sometimes I correlate it to, being a sports and since I have sports in my background and present, do I get to go to the games and can I cheer, or do I have to be the person that sits there and doesn't show any emotion because, then the other parents don't have the opportunity to lose their mind in good or bad ways. And so, he's the coach. It's a lot of work. It's a massive commitment. And so when you feel like you've obviously won in the moment, I'm sure he did, and it's this big moment, and I'm sure there was a lot of preparation put into that block, and hey, we got this one chance and pulls off. I understand the emotion. I'm sure he'll learn from it. But I don't have necessarily a problem with it. No.
All right. Before I let you go, a lot of people, they know you come on at 1:30, and they sent out to me your tweet that said, Cal Raleigh's the MVP. So let's get into that. Why is he the MVP when Judge leads in everything but home runs and RBIs?
I mean, Aaron Judge is absolutely fantastic. No one needs me to tell them that. I think the fact that he's the everyday catcher accomplishing what he's accomplishing, becoming one of 7 to go 60+, and the wear and tear of being that everyday challenge or position, both mentally and physically, I think it just makes you tip your hat to him. Judge is fantastic. I don't want to say it's the LeBron James, Lamar Jackson type of treatment where you're almost accustomed to his greatness and take it for granted. I just think the position that they play and the accomplishment of doing what he's done and rightly quantifying MVP, I would put my feather in Cal Raleigh's cap.
All right, so just my return serve, because I'm sure that you don't want to debate this right now, but the catching is a big part of it, but that is taken into account when they calculate WAR, and Judge leads him in Fangraphs WAR and baseball WAR. So even though catching is a big part of calculating, especially in Fangraphs, the bottom line is Judge is still leading him in WAR.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to sit down and figure out how do they quantify that? Like, what is the how do you quantify or calculate how him playing catcher with their staff and in their place is it different than playing catcher for the Orioles, or is it different than we're playing catcher than the Phillies? Or is it just a uniform calculation? They're both great players. Partly is because I have friends from Seattle that are constantly complaining that Aaron Judge is going to win MVP and not Cal Raleigh. So,
well, I think that if he doesn't win MVP, I think you hit it right on the nose. It's going to be Judge fatigue and Yankee fatigue. So, I think if Raleigh wins, Dan, don't get me wrong, he's had a great historic year. But for people just to say there's no other choice. It's Raleigh. Boy, every other number tells you it's Judge.
Yeah, so a little bit last year, right, in the NFL when it was Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, and it's the whole conversation, at least it was for us, who was the best player versus who was the most valuable, and then that battle back and forth of they're two different things if we're being honest, and so, who was more MVP for their team, more impactful for their team is probably at the genesis of the conversation.
Good stuff. Have a great broadcast on Monday. I know you're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to hearing it.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate you. Good to talk to you.
You got it. That's Dan Orlovsky. Hey, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7:05. Yankees host the White Sox up at the stadium in the Bronx. That game's on, yes. 7:40, the Mets are in Chicago to play the Cubs. Pre-game coverage begins at 7 p.m. right here on 880 ESPN. The Pirates are in Cincinnati right now. 3:40 p.m., the Dodgers are in Arizona. 7:07, the Red Sox are in Toronto. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Now, before we break, I want to take a quick look at the scores. So, Pirates and Reds, they haven't even started it yet. It's supposed to start at 12:40, but it's still in the warm-up, it says on the MLB app. Orioles and the Rays, bottom of the second inning, 0-0 in Baltimore. That game really doesn't mean all that much. All right, we have Chris Sims coming on at 2, so we want to take your phone calls for the next segment so you can get involved as well. Dan Hicks will talk some Ryder Cup at 2:30. Big show until 3, right here on 880 ESPN.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What would be more unbelievable? The Yankees winning the division or the Mets missing the playoffs?
We got to play better. We didn't play good again today, and it doesn't matter, what other teams are doing. It starts on us, and we're better than that.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Why watch alone when you can join the crowd? Ryder Cup Live is taking over New York's favorite bars and pubs with official watch parties all weekend long. From upscale lounges to classic Irish pubs, you'll catch every swing and putt in a club-level atmosphere surrounded by fellow fans. Cheer, toast, and rally behind your team at the hottest Ryder Cup watch spots across Manhattan. Ryder Cup Live, because the best games are watched together. To learn more, visit rydercup.com.
Friends, it's summer, and you should be out there enjoying it. But if you're living with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, that can feel impossible. You don't have to keep living that way. There's help. Dr. Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he's dedicated to helping you feel better. And here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication, just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that get real results so you can get back to the life you love. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, sciatica, and he builds a plan that is right for you. Same day and next day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is never far away. So don't wait, and don't let pain steal another day of your life. Go to SandwellPain.com to text, call, or book online. SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today. Most major insurances are accepted.
Buying a car or refinancing? Navy Federal Credit Union offers great auto loan rates, 90-day pre-approvals, and military discounts. Applying is easy, and you could get a decision in seconds. You could even refinance from another lender with Navy Federal and get a $200 bonus. At Navy Federal, our members are the mission. Find out more at NavyFederal.org/auto loans.
Credit and collateral subject to approval. Rates are subject to change and are based on creditworthiness. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200 bonus. Terms and conditions apply. Terms and conditions apply for military discounts. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. Is it the driver behind the wheel? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid, so much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
The ESPN New York Couch Cast is coming.
I just didn't feel like physically getting off the couch.
Don't miss this live stream event with your favorite ESPN New York personalities, including Dave Rothenberg.
Is football season here yet?
Rick DiPietro, Chris Carlin, Michael Kay.
Oh, football.
And Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
They're playing football!
It all happens September 29th when the Jets face the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. Watch the guys' instant reactions and hear their unfiltered commentary all game long.
You're bad at football.
See it all unfold on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
I'm just trying to have the best possible show. When does that start?
The ESPN New York Couchcast is brought to you by the All-American Ford Auto Group, Calandra's Bakery, and Jacob's Pickles.
Back to the show, everybody. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Obviously, thanks to Dan Orlovsky. Great as always. Want to remind everybody, golf's greatest rivalry tees off at Bethpage Black, and the guys are bringing you all the action, energy, and passion straight from the course. Don't miss DiPietro and Rothenberg. That's tomorrow morning only on ESPN New York. It's brought to you by Michelob Ultra. No matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, a superior taste worth playing for. The official beer sponsor of the Ryder Cup. Let's go to your phone calls, 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Andrew in Portland. Andrew.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for taking my call. Big time, long time. It's the first time making through to your show. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Hey, before I ask my question here real quick about the MVP race, I just wanted to say I actually got the chance to meet you last year over in Seattle, ironically, after the third game under the tunnel. It was you were very kind, you were very polite. You stopped and said hi to both me and my girlfriend. It was very nice to meet you. They say don't meet your heroes, but it was very cool meeting you.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, I actually got to meet Cal Raleigh that day too. I tell you what, he's a very cool guy. He's a very nice guy, and he is having an incredible season. But I'm curious. You know, Aaron Judge has 34 intentional walks this year. You know, he breaks Ted Williams' record. I know Cal Raleigh's been intentionally walked a few times as well, but 34 at bats. I mean, if you take 34 at bats, that's the equivalent of almost 8 games worth of at bats. My question to you is: do you think that if Aaron Judge had 8 games worth of at bats, do you think the home run totals would be a little closer?
Well, I think that, I mean, if you look at Aaron Judge, what is he? I think he has a home run once every 10 at bats. So, I mean, you could add 3 home runs to there if he wasn't intentionally walked, I would think. So then he'd have 54. But, you know, Raleigh still has 60. We can't discount the fact that Raleigh has 60. Now, if Raleigh had 34 intentional walks, and Judge walks a lot, even not intentionally, it's over 100. And, you know, those are opportunities where he's not being given pitches to hit. You know, he's got a great eye. They might not be intentionally walking him, but they're intentionally walking him. Listen, I don't need Andrew to sit here and have to litigate or defend Aaron Judge. His numbers, to me, do the litigation for him. He's having one of the great seasons that any right-handed hitter has ever had. If you look at the weighted runs created plus, nobody's even close to him. And we're talking about history, too, not just in 2025. His numbers are extraordinary. And again, I really, truly believe that there's Yankee fatigue and there's Judge fatigue. Yankee bias and Judge fatigue. Let's put it that way. So Judge has won MVPs before, and just like happened with Lamar and like happened with Jokic, and it happens with LeBron, they always want to find the new flavor, and they want to find something different. So, I mean, you don't have to go far off the reservation to say Cal Raleigh should be the MVP. The guy's going to have 60-plus home runs. But to discount every other stat that is imperative in judging a player and just discount it and say, well, the 60 home runs, that overrides everything, I think that's a little suspect. Just a little suspect. Let's go to Joe in Waldwick. Joe.
Michael, I value your opinion. But, Michael, about your words of wisdom yesterday about the pom-pom, take the pom-poms off the Yankees, please. I know they've been good, and they had all these pennants, but, Michael, let's face it, you have had the biggest financial advantage in baseball history for the last 23 years. Except for the last 2 years, you got anybody you wanted, and you kept everybody you wanted. So you got to agree and you haven't won the World Series in 16 years.
What? I mean, but Joe, you're saying that money equates championships. I mean, the Mets have
money equates the playoffs.
Wait a minute.
It's been 16 years. Okay.
Well, okay, but they made the playoffs. What do you want? It's hard to win championships. I'm not saying that they should be anointed as the greatest of all time, but they make the playoffs every year, and they give you an opportunity to win the World Series every year. The Mets have a $340 million payroll, Joe. What does it mean? If you spend your money poorly, it doesn't mean anything.
Well, they have, because they haven't won 16 years, Michael. It's a long time, Michael.
Well, you're saying they haven't won. They haven't won a championship in 16 years. They've been to 3 American League Championship Series. They make the playoffs almost every year. Listen, you equate it differently. If you think they stink, okay, that's your opinion.
No, they stink. They've done well. I'm just saying they've done. I'm not trying to mark them out. I'm just saying they've enormously underachieved with their payroll and their advantages. That's all.
Okay, but the Dodgers,
16 years all time, Michael.
The Dodgers spend just as much money as the Yankees for a long time. They won a COVID championship in 2020 and finally broke through. Before that, they hadn't won since 1988. So money doesn't mean everything. And I'm telling you, Joe, the Yankees have not lived up to what their expectations are because they haven't won a championship since 2009. But to say, they failed. Oh, okay, your idea of failure is that they haven't won a championship. That's a lot of people's idea of failure. But every single year they go into it and they have a chance to win. Every single year, excepting a couple, they make the playoffs. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to take my word and say, well, that's the gospel. It's far from the gospel. Far from the gospel. I'm just trying to lay it out there that, yeah, you're disappointed they don't win a championship, but every year they got a chance. And if they fall short and you think that's a failure, okay, then you're in line with Judge and Jeter and George Steinbrenner. Good. That's the way you judge it. We had a guy call in 2 days ago. Well, if I paid my staff all this money and they didn't win, they'd be fired. Well, how about if they finished second or third? They were the second or third best company. Would you think that was a failure? But I know because George Steinbrenner laid it down and said everything other than the World Series win is a failure. There's been a generation of people raised on that. So I can't argue with you. So if you go by that definition, then everything's been a failure. So 2001, when they went to the Game 7 of the World Series, that's a failure. 2003, when they lost to the Marlins in 5 games, that's a failure. The times that they went to the ALCS Game 7 and Game 6 and they didn't get to the World Series, that's a failure. Okay, that's your definition of failure. That's not my definition of failure. But you have the right to have your own definition of what failure is. It's time now for the leaderboard update brought to you by Schweppes. The Ryder Cup tees off tomorrow morning at 7:10 a.m. That's out at Bethpage Black. So we will start having scores and things like that starting tomorrow morning, and Rick and Dave will be out at Bethpage Black doing their show tomorrow morning. That was the leaderboard update presented by Schweppes. Schweppes offers a hole-in-one refreshment experience and is proud to sponsor PGA of America. Enhance your summer with Schweppes Seltzer or Schweppes Ginger Ale. We come back with Chris Sims. I'm looking forward to talking with NBC's Chris Sims in just a moment. But first, I want to remind you, shop great new offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5S for as low as $239 per month or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months. They'll take any trade-in and accept all lease returns, even if you didn't lease with them. Plus, enjoy Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance, all included. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Hey Yankees fans, hit your next adventure out of the park and onto the water with City Cruises New York. Sail your way to epic skyline views, delicious dining, and premium drinks. Upgrade your game day with a dining cruise, a cocktail sail, or a night with your favorite entertainers aboard City Cruises Live. Whether you're celebrating a win or just the weekend, City Cruises is a shipload of fun. Proud partner of the New York Yankees. Book today at citycruises.com/New York.
Well, to hit a home run, everything's got to line up perfectly, just like when you find the person you want to marry. When it's time to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. From their beautiful 2 by London collection to custom designs for any budget, They make finding the perfect ring easy. Visit London Jewelers at any of their 6 locations and tell them I sent you for the Michael K. treatment. London Jewelers, getting it just right.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
There's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 25 Mazda CX-30 for $199 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. Then SM843629. MSRP $26,865. Zero security deposit. Ends 9/30/25.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Love talking to this guy. You can see him on NBC, college football, and obviously Sunday Night Football, and that is the great Chris Sims, and he joins us now. Chris, how you doing?
Doing good, buddy. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing very well as well. Were you surprised? Now, you said that it could happen at halftime, so I guess you're not surprised they made the move to Jackson Dart.
No, I'm not surprised at all. And after the game, I thought, I kind of came out on my podcast when I do that. It's time. It's time to go. It's time to move on to the next era. We know what Russell Wilson is. He's limited, right? This is not an easy game for Jackson Dart to play, right? Because the Chargers are really good on the defensive side of the ball. They really are. But at the same time, it's a game where they need Jackson Dart. You're not just going to be able to throw go balls. This is a game where you need a full variety of offense and the whole Rolodex of things there. That's what's crazy is I believe Jackson Dart actually opens up the offense more than the veteran Russell Wilson, which is really odd to say, but I think it's true.
Do you believe, though, do we ever really know if a quarterback is ready? Do you believe that he's ready? And if he's ready now, Chris, why wasn't he ready to start the season?
Yeah, I hear you. I think it's a good question, and I think they toyed around with the idea to start him in the season. I think what happens, too, sometimes with these young quarterbacks, and especially in a situation like here with Jackson Dart and the Giants, is there's also like, hey, let's make sure our team's okay before we throw them out there. Maybe the best thing's not to throw them out there against Washington week 1 on the road. Andrew Thomas isn't there. We're not sure about our offensive line. That's a pretty good defense. They like to pressure the quarterback, right? So I think you have to take into account of where your team is at some points. Like I told you last week, I know after that week 1 game, they were thinking about benching Russell and going with Jackson Dart for that Dallas Cowboy game. That bought Russell 1 more week. But like we saw last week, right? I mean, again, it's limited in what they can do. And if it weren't for Dallas and one of the dumbest game plans you'll see in the history of football, I think that Russell probably would have been benched after that game. Because, again, last week, what did Kansas City do? They changed it up on defense a little bit. They didn't blitz. They didn't play man-to-man because they watched that Cowboy game and they were like, wait, that's the only time the Giants make any plays. Let's not let them do that. And, of course, the offense struggled mightily having to adjust and readjust to this Chiefs game plan.
See, here's my concern. So, obviously, Spagnuolo's an outstanding defensive coordinator. He makes adjustments to what they do against Dallas, right?
Right.
And then the Giants don't make any adjustments. Malik Neighbors, 2 catches, 13 yards. I mean, what is Dable and Kafka doing?
I hear you, and I think that's something that they can improve on. Part of being the game plan is going, wait, this is what this team does. Let's attack it. But are they going to do this against us? And like you just said, Steve Spagnuolo watched that game, and he was like, wait, I'm not going to do that. Just let Russell throw it up and let Malik Neighbors have a chance to catch the ball, which more times than not he will. So they adjusted. Before the game, Malik Neighbors to NBC, right? And our group went, well, we're going to get blitz tonight. We're going to get man-to-man. And I promise you, and NBC people will attest to this, I said, there's no freaking way Steve Spagnuolo is going to let you go man-to-man and blitz tonight. He watched that game last week. He's not who he is because he just goes, we're going to do what we do no matter what it is. No, he's famous because he adjusts according to the opponent or weaknesses or strengths on his own defense. And, yeah, that's part of game planning too, is knowing how the team is going to approach you because you have a different skill set than maybe the team week before. And, yeah, the Giants don't seem to always be ahead of the curve in that department. So I hear you there, Michael.
All right, so you have to guide me through this because obviously you know much better than I do. So Brian Dable's supposed to be an offensive, smart guy, genius, whatever you want to say. But we have Steve Young on every Monday, and he said when he didn't have any catches in the first half, Jerry Rice would give him a look, and they'd make sure they got Jerry Rice the ball in the second half. How do you take your playmaker, Malik Neighbors, and shut him down with 2 catches? How does Brian Dable not start guruing? He's supposed to be an offensive guru. Is it because of the limitations of Russell Wilson, or are there limitations to what Brian Dable's able to come up with?
Well, I don't sit there with Daboll and Kafka, and I'm not blown away by the offense. So I'll say that just to be honest with you there. But at the same time, yeah, I think it's also Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, it's been a long time since he's been what I call surgical, right? And what I mean by that is 6 yards here, 8 yards there, good decision, 12, 5, 10, 8, right? He never was that kind of guy, really. He's always kind of been take a shot downfield, and then in his prime, because when he could run, he would go, okay, nobody's open downfield. Now I'm going to buy time behind the line of scrimmage, and I'll make a move, and I'll make a play backyard style and find a completion that way. But now he can't run or do any of that, and he's made to play in the pocket. And if you really dissect Russell Wilson into his years in Seattle, and, of course, even with Denver when he had a coach in Sean Payton who's famous for being surgical, he's unwilling to throw the ball in the middle of the field. He just won't do it. That was the same last year with Pittsburgh. So it takes away a certain part of your offense, right? Plays where you might design for Malik Neighbors to go, hey, let's get him going early and get him, an easy one, 7, 8, 10 yards over the middle. You might call those plays, but Russell Wilson's just not going to throw it. He's not. If it's not just wide open, he won't pull the trigger. And that's, to me, where Jackson Dart, with all these things the Chargers do on defense, I think I came on right in the summer and said, this guy's got a little more of a Drew Brees aspect to him. But I think he's got even, maybe more athleticism right? A Kirk Cousins type of guy where he can just dice you up that way, let alone he can run and make a few plays. And I think that's where maybe he can give them an advantage, even though being young and inexperienced this week against the Chargers.
Talking with Chris Sims here on the Michael K. Show. So walk me through this, because I've heard so many people say it, that Russell Wilson will not throw over the middle. Chris, is he afraid to? Does he not have enough arm? Why wouldn't he throw over the middle?
I think it's he forever, and this is where I won't blame him, and this is what happens when you are growing up in a team like Seattle where the defense was amazing. So I think first off, he is smaller. He has a hard time seeing the middle of the field, right? He can have a little bit of a deliberate, longer type of motion to where I think people, when he throws down the middle of the field, they kind of see it coming. They bat footballs down. I also think in his early years in the NFL, right, with that Legion of Boom defense and playing for a defensive coach, this is what happens is, hey, if it's just don't take a chance. If it's not there, so what? We'll punt. Our defense is great, and we'll make a play at some point later in the game, right? So he was kind of taught that way. And within that, okay, he never really has been a guy that throws the ball on rhythm, on time. It's kind of always been that backyard way, but we're at a point now where you can't make backyard magic happen, and that's why Sean Payton got rid of him, and that's why Pittsburgh got rid of him, and the Giants were a little desperate and just wanted to make sure they had somebody, and that's why they signed him. But I'd be shocked, Michael, if he really ever starts a game ever again, unless, like, the Cincinnati Bengals trade for him this year because they're desperate in their situation. I would think that's about the end of Russell Wilson in the NFL.
Now, do you believe that the Giants are making this move, Chris, to save, their own hide, Brian Dable's job? And I saw a quote that was attributed to your dad, Phil Simms, where he said, the Giant owners see the empty seats at MetLife Stadium. Something has to be done. Aren't those bad reasons, though, to put Jackson Dart in right now?
Yeah, I mean, they are. They're not the right reasons, but they're part of the equation. And then I think the other reasons are, like, legitimately, like, Russell Wilson's just not good. This guy at least gives us some hope and gives us more variety on the offensive side of the ball. So I think there is some real football stuff here to throw him out there. I mean, Jackson Dart was phenomenal in the preseason. There's no doubt about that. I don't care if it was against 2s or 3s or whatever. So he has given them that confidence, and I think they finally have just realized, man, Russell's limited. And then I think, there's all the other stuff. I mean, come on, Michael. I mean, my friends, they've been texting me the last few weeks. They're getting emails and calls from the Giants going, can you buy tickets? Like, the Giants? I mean, when I was growing up, it was a 90-year wait list. I mean, my dad might move up Johnny in the neighborhood to a 40-year wait list, and they were like, thank you, Phil. You're so amazing that you moved us halfway up the list. Now they can't even give the tickets away. And, I think everybody's excited to see Jackson Dart, so I think all of those things kind of play into this discussion here.
Now, do the Giants have to pull some things out of the playbook of Ole Miss to make this guy feel comfortable? Do they have to rejigger the offense to fit him?
I don't think so. I think that, I think that they're going to find some things from preseason and things at Ole Miss that Lane Kiffin did, but are also in the NFL and in their playbook anyways. I think you lean on those type of things early on in the football game and get them in rhythm that way. Hopefully they can, like you talked about before, let's get a screen pass to Malik Neighbors. Let's get him a little cheap completion over the middle. Make him feel good. Spread the ball around that way. That's what you hope for. But I think the reason he was liked by teams in the draft and by the Giants and other teams was he played NFL type of football in Ole Miss, the SEC, and in that offense. And, I don't think they have to readjust too much here. And like I said, it's crazy. I actually think he opens up more of the playbook than Russell Wilson does.
So am I just being a little bit too nervous? Because one thing concerns me, Chris, and that's if he's all that, right? Why did he last to the 25th pick? Now, I know Dan Marino got selected at the end of the first. I understand all those stories.
Right.
But why did quarterback-needy teams just not even consider taking him early?
Because I think what's debatable, and this is what I debated too, is that I don't know if his physical gifts warrant top of the round, first round type of like physical traits that way, right? That's what I would say. If you compare him, like I told you about, I think in the summer a little bit, there's good athleticism, definitely better than I expected. But, like, when I watch him, I don't go, oh, my gosh, look at his arm. He's going to make special throws that only a few people in the NFL can. So, yeah, he's going to play a pocket game, and it was the people who believed in his ability to play in the pocket and move an offense that way, which there's great value to. But at the same time, yeah, this isn't Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, one of those type of talents where it's like, man, any throw on the field at any time, watch out because he can make it happen. And I think that's why between that, maybe not being the biggest guy in the world, I think questions about how athletic he was and all that, that's why he kind of lasts to later in the first round.
If everything goes great, like, he hits all the boxes as a hit, what type of quarterback are we looking at? I mean, is there a comparable to him?
Yeah, I've used that Drew Brees type of thing. That's the one I kind of lean on there. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I'm missing out there that would be in that convo, right? I know I brought up Kirk Cousins, but he's got more physical gifts than Kirk Cousins. And people sometimes when they hear that, they go, oh, Kirk Cousins, he doesn't win big-time games. And I want to go, come on. Like, Kirk Cousins is really awesome. He's been really awesome for a long time. I mean, there's a reason the guys like Shanahan and McVay would drool over him. He does a lot of good stuff. I think he's got more physical gifts than that. But, yeah, I see, like, his ultimate top end, kind of like that Drew Brees-ish type of guy. I do. That's kind of what I look at it, Michael.
All right, so let's just deviate a little bit from Jackson Dart, which is obviously the story of the week. Any concern with the Ravens? I mean, they really got it handed to them by the Lions.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm concerned. I think that the Ravens, they're a little bit like the bullies sometimes where, like, they bully you, and then if you don't get knocked out, they're a little bit like, wait, you're fighting back? How dare you? You're not supposed to fight back against us. I think there's a little of that. The other thing I just think is missing, and it showed up on Monday night, I mean, the Ravens, as tough as I always look at them and all that, I don't think they laid on the line physically like some of the other top teams in football at times. I mean, they were out-physicaled by the Lions. There's no doubt about that. The one thing I've raved out about the years is the Chiefs, they don't get enough credit for, is they're kamikaze. They throw their bodies around. We know Philly's like that. So I think there's a little bit of an intensity level that can go up a little bit there with Baltimore. But I'm not concerned. I still think they're a really damn good team. I think, one, their pass rush is a little concerning, like you saw. When they rushed 4 the other night, Jared Goff could bake a cake and then make a decision and throw the football. That's something they got to figure out. But other than that, okay, they lost to the Lions, and that would have been a nail-biter if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble. They had the Bills in desperation mode in the third quarter where they were going for 4th and 7s with 7 minutes left in the third quarter because they were like, if we don't make it here, we're going to get blown out. And again, if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble at the end of that game, I would bet you that Baltimore wins that football game. So they're working some kinks out there, but I'm not concerned. I still think they're one of the better teams, and I fully expect them to go into Kansas City and beat Kansas City because, as you saw last week, Kansas City is not very good. They're going to win because it's against some lesser teams because they have good culture, but there's a lot of things that I think concern me with the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
We've never gotten your take on this. So Eagles, tush push, where do you come down on it? Should be legal? Should they outlaw it? What's the deal?
Well, as much as I'm a Giants fan and the Eagles fans are constantly on me because I won't say Jalen Hurts is the greatest quarterback to ever live, they don't like me. But the Eagles are an unbelievable team. The Eagles are, I've said this a lot the last 2 years, their O-line is like the 90s Cowboys. It's one of the best O-lines we've ever seen. I mean, the Eagles do nothing on the offensive side of the ball. They run like 10 plays, and they're just like, you know it, we don't care, you can't stop it. I'm all for the tush push. The whole league's trying to replicate the tush push, and they can't do it. The Eagles can do it because they're special. They got a quarterback that's big and strong, and they got the biggest, most physical, powerful offensive line that I can remember in quite some time when they're healthy there. So, no, I'm a little old school and like, wait, we're going to stop the thing that the best team in football does really well just because what? Nobody can stop it, and it looks a little ugly on TV. So I'm for it, and I'm just like, bring it on, defenses. You got to find a way to stop it.
All right, so you mentioned Jalen Hurts. Now, if you took a Lamborghini and you took out all the parts and put it on the driveway, it wouldn't be that impressive. And that's kind of like Jalen Hurts as well. But shouldn't there be some love for Jalen Hurts? Because when you put all the parts together, he does win.
Yeah. No, I say that all the time. I have respect for Jalen Hurts. I make him the 9th or 10th quarterback in my quarterback rankings, though, and that never satisfies the Eagles fans. And I'd go, man, I think I'm kind of actually being nice. Yes, he's a good leader. He's tough as hell. There's no doubt about it. But they're like, let me just put it this way: if Lamar Jackson or Mahomes or Josh Allen were on the Philadelphia Eagles, don't even play the season. Just put them in the Super Bowl and just see who plays there.
So what's Jalen lacking? What's he lacking?
Well, he lacks ability to carve you up in the pocket. They were the worst-ranked passing team in the history of the NFL to win the Super Bowl last year. If I have another Eagles fan come up to me and go, they didn't throw the ball well because they didn't have to last year. Oh, yeah, they wanted to squeak games out against the Carolina Panthers and stuff just because they were like, we don't have to throw it. We're going to show you. Like, get out of here. Like, kiss my butt with that crap. There's no way. They do nothing on the offensive side of the ball, and that's mainly because of Jalen Hurts. He won't let them do anything, right? So that's the big problem. Like I said, it's elementary as far as what they do. I mean, but they're so good physically that it's hard to stop. Like the other day, you see it. I mean, the game was what? Okay, they're loading up the box to stop Saquon. They stay patient and then they finally just go, let's throw jump balls to A.J. Brown. Let's throw a curl route. Yeah, the guy's all over his back. So what? Throw it to him. He'll knock the guy off and run for another 25 yards. I mean, that's really what it is there. So they're frustrating to me as a quarterback because I go, it's a sixth-grade offense, and if it was a more advanced offense, they would be basically unstoppable that way. And that's why they have these lulls and these moments where we just go, what's going on with them? And, it's a little bit of all that.
NBC's Chris Sims is our guest. Chris, you mentioned you're a Giant fan. Obviously, you're born into that with your dad, so you saw a lot of Daniel Jones. Did you think Daniel Jones could be as successful somewhere else after what you saw, he did with the Giants?
I did. I always thought he could be. And I think, again, we're in the midst of hopefully everybody realizing that it's a team sport, right? I think Brady and Peyton Manning got us all messed up with thinking just like, if you got a good quarterback, you should be in the Super Bowl every year, right? It's just not like that. You need a support system around you. Look at Patrick Mahomes right now. He's one of the greatest I've ever seen. It's Strugglesville. When you play quarterback for the Giants like Daniel Jones did the last few years, like, I always say, like, you're not going to look good. If you're around crap all the time, crap's going to get on you and you're going to start smelling like crap. That's just the bottom line. But I knew how impressed Minnesota was with Daniel Jones, right? He's smart. You've seen him in person. He's built like a Greek god. He has a real good arm. I'm not saying it's the greatest arm, but it's real good. And like with 15 to 10-yard passes, he is going to hit the bullseye all the time. And they're a master in Indianapolis at getting people open 10 to 15 yards down the field. So did I think it would be as good as it is right now? No. But I did think he was a starting quarterback and that he would go somewhere like Baker Mayfield, like Sam Darnold, where he's in a better spot and the team can support him the right way and then show his real talents. Or like Saquon Barkley, like we talked about last week. People thought he was a bust with the Giants. Now he goes to a team that can open up a hole, and we go, is that the greatest running back we've ever seen in our life? So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Daniel Jones. The Colts is a very cool story.
Okay, so then the next question is that a demerit on Brian Daboll's resume that – you're supposed to be the guy, and you couldn't get this out of him?
A little bit, but I think it goes, I know we hit on this a little last week. Yeah, there's that. And then some of the players picked didn't necessarily help out Daniel Jones either. And then I think when you couple that with, wait, we didn't draft Daniel Jones. The regime before us did. He's not exactly what I want. And there's kind of that excuse always in your back pocket. I think that, all of those things kind of worked against Daniel Jones, let alone we know with some of the bad play and looking bad at moments and not necessarily all being his fault, just the fan base was all over him. I sat in the crowd in the Thursday night game 2 years ago, the Cowboys-Giants game. I'm sitting in the mezzanine level with my family. I'm watching the game, and I'm like, I just can't get over everybody blames Daniel Jones for everything. And I literally started speaking out in the middle of the crowd and going, guys, like, did you see the protection? Guys, show me when there's somebody open. I don't know what you got. He's not Superman. I don't know what you think. And so I think all of that just worked against Daniel Jones, and I'm glad to see him get a fresh start.
All right, before I let you go, I know you're a Yankee fan. Raleigh or Judge, who's the MVP?
Oh, well, I guess you've got to give it to Raleigh just for 60-plus home runs. He didn't get hurt, where Judge getting hurt kind of derailed the year. I love Aaron Judge. I mean, he's one of my favorite athletes of all time, but I think if I was going to be real, I'd probably give it to Raleigh. But, man, the Yanks are hot right now. You think we got a chance to make a run here in the playoffs, Michael?
Absolutely, and I would also push back on you. Judge leads in every offensive category over Raleigh except for home runs and RBIs. Every one that counts.
Okay, set me straight. Good. I'll use that in my argument with some friends at the bar later tonight. I like that. I like that a lot. I'll help you with football. You help me with baseball. I like that.
All right, you just hand me the phone because it's probably going to be a rain delay today, and I will text your friends in the bar why they're wrong.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, you're the man, Michael. Have a good weekend.
You got it, buddy. That's Chris Sims. You could hear him on college football on Saturday, and obviously the NBC Sunday night presentation. He's tremendous, and we're so thrilled that he's allowing us to have him on every single Thursday at 2 o'clock. When we come back, Dan Hicks will talk a little Ryder Cup, which begins tomorrow. It's the K Show right here on ESPN New York.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hey, right now at Bay Ridge Honda, your EV countdown to $7,500 in savings ends September 30th. So hurry in. The clock is ticking. You can get a Prologue Touring for $179 per month with zero down during the EV Countdown sales event. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 36 months lease, 10,000 miles per year, $3,300 loyalty or conquest, and $7,500 EV credit as down payment.
This fall, golf's greatest rivalry comes alive like never before. The Ryder Cup isn't just at Bethpage Black, it's everywhere. From a high-octane fan zone at Rockefeller Center to official watch parties across Manhattan to curated fan kits bringing the action home. You can rally with Team USA or Team Europe wherever you are. Feel the passion, celebrate the tradition, and live every putt, drive, and cheer. Ryder Cup Live. Be part of golf history on and off the course.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What would be more unbelievable? The Yankees winning the division or the Mets missing the playoffs?
We got to play better. We didn't play good again today, and it doesn't matter, what other teams are doing. It starts on us, and we're better than that.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Things today can seem kind of unpredictable. Who knows what's around the corner, right? Well, at Total Wireless, we want to give you something to be sure about. With us, you save 50% off Metro and Cricket when you switch with one line. Guaranteed. And you get to keep the phone and number you love. Visit our Total Wireless store today. 50% savings for unlimited plans versus comparable Total Wireless unlimited phone plans based on standard plan rates. Some customers may only receive the guaranteed savings after contacting us and validating the current plan rate. Excludes promotional, discounted, and bring your phone rates. For total 5G unlimited plan or higher, auto pay required. Applied on next renewal date. Additional terms apply.
Listen up, friends. It's summer, and you should be out there trying to enjoy yourself. But neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain is holding you back. It's time to handle it. I'm telling you, you need to call Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is a double board certified, Ivy League trained. This man is the real deal. No surgery, no scars, no downtime, just results. You can book a same day or next day appointment. He's got 3 convenient locations in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, so there's no excuses. You want to get back to your active lifestyle? Dr. Shaw got you covered. Joint pain, migraine, sciatica, nerve pain, gone. No cuts, no medication, no long recovery, just precise image-guided procedures that can get you back to doing what you love. So, here's what you got to do. Get your phone, get online, SandwellPain.com. Book that appointment. You've waited long enough. Don't let pain steal your summer. Don't let pain steal your fun. Call Dr. Jay Shaw today. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
All right, the Ryder Cup begins tomorrow morning. It'll be on NBC. And, we're so glad the legendary Dan Hicks can join us now to kind of walk us through this because I'm admittedly not a big golf fan, but I'm kind of getting caught up because it's so close. Bethpage Black on Long Island, and hopefully Dan could walk us through this. Dan, it's Michael K. How you doing?
I'm good, Michael. Thanks for having me, man. Pleasure to be with you.
Now, golf is so staid, and like sometimes if somebody clicks a phone, the golfer will look up and give you a look. But I keep hearing how the crowds at Bethpage Black could actually help the United States in the Ryder Cup. Explain how that works.
Yeah, well, it's a totally different animal, Michael. I mean, this Ryder Cup has come from, just a silent little gathering between Europe and the United States into this gargantuan of a spectacle of a sporting event. And Bethpage was announced the latest venue for this 2025 version like 12 years ago. And this will be my 16th Ryder Cup. And I've been looking at this particular venue for so long in anticipation, just like everybody else has. And I think it's going to live up to the billing because we've also done a couple of U.S. Opens out here at Bethpage. And it is a different kind of crowd as far as spirited, loud, in your face. I mean, you know the whole New York theme, but you throw in a Ryder Cup where teams are playing for their country, which is already the loudest event in golf before they ever got to Bethpage. And it's the recipe for a different kind of golf tournament. And so we're all kind of waiting and wondering exactly how intense it's going to be. But suffice to say, I think it'll be the loudest golf tournament in the history of the sport. And then that's not overstating it.
Now, I've also read people say, I hope there's some decorum. Will they try to pull it back if it gets too outrageous?
Yeah, so we had a meeting with the PGA of America today to talk about a number of different things. And one of the topics was what kind of enforcement will happen if you have some incidents out there. And there will be some. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And Kerry Haig of the PGA of America, who's in charge of the championship setup and everything else around it, basically said if somebody gets out of hand and we get reports He wants us, our people that are on the ground out there, to relay any kind of over-the-top behavior. Now, that's obviously a wide swath of people to watch and behavior to keep an eye on. But I just think that they're asking us, because if somebody is out of hand, they want to be able to kind of point somebody out, and they will remove them from the grounds. And so I think the urgency is to start this thing with that in mind, that if you came out here to cheer and great and be loud, that's fine. But if you're going to take it over the top, you will be ejected from the black course of Bethpage. So I think that is going to be something that's going to be a theme. It has been a theme leading into it. And I just think we're guaranteed to have some incidents as this thing goes on.
NBC's Dan Hicks is our guest. So walk me through this again, neophyte, novice, whatever you want to call me, idiot. I don't know. But will you be allowed to scream when the guy's starting to swing? Because I know that's frowned upon.
No, that's frowned upon. Now, oftentimes already in Ryder Cups, guys in the first tee will get out there, and there's always, the commotion of a first tee of a Ryder Cup is just something unto itself. But there's been guys that have actually raised their hands and whipped up the crowd because the first tee's that kind of atmosphere, and they would probably rather have a constant din of noise rather than something or somebody that screams something in the middle of their backswing. Now, when they get off of the first tee and you get out there on the golf course, that is going to continue to be the golf decorum. You don't yell in somebody's backswing. Guys will be quieted down. Caddies will be extra important this week to kind of do their best to try to control the environment around their golfer. But no, there won't be just mayhem in the middle of swings when they're off of the first tee. Other than the fact, if they do want to rile them up themselves, they can do that on the first tee.
All right, so Dan, walk me through it. What is this matchup like? Does the USA match up favorably with the European team?
Well, I think, Michael, frankly, that this is the strongest European team that they've ever had, and that's saying a lot. But it's in the past, it would be okay. They've got good 5, 6, maybe even 7 players, but then the drop off of talent compared to the U.S. really fell off. But if you look at all the players this year, led by Rory McIlroy, who of course has the most Ryder Cups of anybody on their side, you look at the depth of the team, and they had just incredibly consistent seasons across the board. This team for Europe has 11 of the 12 back. It's the very first time that any side has ever had 11 of the 12 back in the very next year, and they won, of course, in Rome. So I think it's the strongest European team, but this is the home field for the Americans. So I think with Europe's confidence and on a roll from a couple of years ago, albeit on their home soil, I think it's a push. I think it could go either way. The key will be Scottie Scheffler, number 1 player in the world. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I know he's been able to handle pretty much anything that's come his way the last couple of years because he's been so dominant, but he has got to play well. And I would not be surprised, and I expect him to go out in all 5 matches, the 2 team sessions each day on Friday and Saturday, and the singles. But he'll be a key for the United States. But you know what, Michael? That's what makes the hype of this thing so good. It is so close to call, we don't know what's going to happen.
All right, so Keegan Bradley against Luke Donald. And, sometimes leaders, it's kind of ceremonial. But everything I've read, Dan, this is not ceremonial. These guys are really important on whether the team wins or not, right?
They are. This thing has gotten so sophisticated through the years. The deep dive in analytics that every captain goes through, even before he picks his team, the 6 that don't make it, there's 6 automatic qualifiers and the 6 captains pick. So that starts the whole ball rolling. These guys, Keegan Bradley has basically had his pairing set, knowing who he was going to pick for his team pretty much. He knows the pairings for weeks and weeks. Now, it'll be adjusted as that goes on, depending on how guys play, depending on how guys react. You got 4 rookies for the first time playing in this environment, but that's how it works. The captains have become a huge deal. Keegan and Luke have said, and I know they are very good friends, but there's already been a little abrasive stuff going on. If you've heard, Europe has talked about and pointed out that the U.S. players are being paid a stipend, one for charity, and another couple $100,000 to do whatever they want with. And Luke Donald has been kind of playing it up that his European side is not getting paid, even though there's a financial inequity between the organizations of the European Tour and then the U.S. guys. So it's all interesting. And even though guys come in warm and fuzzy to start, it gets intensified. And, let's face it, Keegan Bradley is a New Yorker, basically. a New England guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all seen the intensity come from him through the past. So I would not be surprised if he doesn't get a little fired up at some point.
I'm so fascinated, Dan, that, golf is an individual sport, but everything I've heard is that this means the world to each and every one of them. Is it because of country, or is this just something that's ingrained in them since they were little kids? The Ryder Cup is a big deal.
Yeah, it's all of that. It's all of kind of seeing the guys before them, and all these guys tell the guys that either haven't played or are playing for the first time, once you play in one of these, you're never going to want to miss one. It's a special environment. It's for team and country. These guys are lone wolves for the duration of 99% of their careers. They're out there doing their own thing. So a chance to be a part of a team. I mean, they all bond together, and this whole team fabric just gets stronger and stronger as the years go on. Europe has just had an easy time with the bonding on their side. They just seem to really gel well. And the U.S. players will tell you that there's nothing like the Ryder Cup. It's Rory McIlroy will tell you that, he's probably most proud of his individual accomplishments and getting the career Grand Slam and all of that this year. But the most memorable moments that he has, the thing that he'll really remember for the rest of his life and his career, are the Ryder Cups and the team matches.
And I'm sure it's a big deal for you, right, Dan? I mean, what is it, 16 you said? I mean, it must be such a vibe.
It never gets old. My first Ryder Cup was in '93 across the pond at the Belfry, and the U.S. won. That is the last time the U.S. won on European soil. So this is my 16th Ryder Cup, and that still is going to be in the balance when they go to Ireland in a couple of years from now. I do a lot of golf tournaments, Michael, as you know, and it's great. You do the U.S. Open, the Open Championships, the majors, and all the great tournaments that we've been able to do. But this is something different. And it is, you know how it is. You get to a Yankees game where the electricity is crackling and you just basically watch with everybody else, let the pictures tell the story. This is one of those events where the audio you hear coming through your television is different. The vibe is different. The people that watch are different. They could care less about all the other golf tournaments in the world, but when they come across the Ryder Cup and they see this pageantry and all this cheering going on, you can't help but not tune in.
Well, have a wonderful weekend. I've always been a fan. I'm glad that we could finally get you on.
Yeah, Michael, I remember having dinner with you years ago. You're such a good dude, and I was really excited to come on your show, and been a big admirer of your talents through the years as well. So thanks again for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and have a great time. It's on NBC, the Ryder Cup tomorrow morning, so outstanding stuff, and we thank Dan Hicks for coming on. Hey, Saturday, October 4th at Sports Illustrated Stadium, the New York Red Bulls take on FC Cincinnati, with kickoff set for 7:30 p.m. Start your match day early on the Boulevard at 4:30 p.m. Enjoy pregame activations, giveaways, and live performances. Then at 5:45 p.m., catch the Red Bulls on the red carpet. Gates open at 6 p.m., where the first 10,000 fans get a reversible Red Bulls bucket hat. Hey, for your chance to win a family 4-pack, enter now through the ESPN New York app. You just click the contest tile and submit your entry. Bring the crew and secure your seats at NewYorkRedBulls.com. Plan ahead and travel smart. The Harrison Path Station is closed Saturday, October 4th. Free shuttles will run from Journal Square to the stadium. All right, now, I'm very competitive. I think we all know that. And now you can actually consume this show video-wise. ESPN New York is now live like never before, streaming on YouTube. Your favorite shows, DiPietro and Rothenberg, Bart and Carlin, this show, The Michael K. Show, and Don Hahn and Rosenberg with live video every weekday. You could watch, chat, join the conversation only on YouTube. Subscribe to ESPN New York on YouTube today and never miss a moment. Now, I bring up competitive, right? We are neck and neck, we being this show, with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Now, you know how I feel about Rick, how I feel about his looks. He's a terrific person, a handsome guy. Now, he's competitive as well. So every show wants to be the one that's viewed the most on the YouTube channel. So Rick is actually threatening, if you tune into the YouTube channel for the morning show, that he might take his clothes off. Yeah, that's what he's hanging over your head. Well, I'm going to make you a bigger promise. If you tune in to the YouTube channel for this show, I won't take my clothes off. I will not mortify you. I'll just give you good, crackling hot sports talk and takes. That's right. The clothes remain on. The sports talk remains crackling hot. So get to your YouTube channel right now. Go to ESPN New York's app, click on the YouTube tile, subscribe, and then enjoy. Enjoy all the shows. But I want you to enjoy this show the most. I've got some stats updated between Judge and Raleigh. Everybody thinks it's Raleigh because he's at 60 home runs. I got some stats. Stick around to find out what they are right here on ESPN New York.
Game time isn't just on the field. It's in your driveway, too. At Kia City of the Bronx, they're making plays with the full lineup of brand new Kias ready for you at 3505 Connor Street. Don't sit on the sidelines while your dream car drives by. Visit KiaCity.com or call 646-917-7955 and they'll get you behind the wheel of something fresh. Kia City of the Bronx. This is how the Bronx drives.
Had a major life event? You may qualify for quality, affordable health insurance through Get Covered New Jersey. 9 in 10 get financial help. Visit getcovered.nj.gov. Healthier starts here.
Oh, what are you doing? Don't do New York City dirty.
New York City's my heart, my soul. I would never do this place dirty because everything I want is in this city.
Why would you want to dirty somewhere that you live?
This is your home. You don't throw papers out the window, flick cigarette butts.
It's disrespectful. Dispose of it the correct way.
I would never put trash on the ground. That's why we got trash cans. Don't do New York City dirty. Trash your trash.
A message from the Sanitation Foundation.
One by one, we keep this city clean, man. Let's get it.
Did you know you can get more with New York Lottery Plus?
You pulling my leg?
No, seriously. Just enter scratch off and draw game tickets and get more points.
Pulling a fast one?
No. And you can put your points towards chances to win gift cards, cash prizes, and more.
Is this a stunt?
No. You even get points for playing new games.
You're pulling my chain, aren't you?
No.
Pulling my finger?
What? No. Man, put that thing away.
Sorry.
Introducing New York Lottery Plus. Download the app, sign up, get more. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. We all turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 10-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recs. You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/timeout. That's betterhelp.com/timeout.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What would be more unbelievable? The Yankees winning the division or the Mets missing the playoffs?
We got to play better. We didn't play good again today, and it doesn't matter, what other teams are doing. It starts on us, and we're better than that.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
There's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Get 1.9% financing on a new Mazda 2025 CX-50 or lease for $249 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN 354688. MSRP $32,945. Zero security deposit. APR $17.48 per $1,000 finance. Ends 9/30/25.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. From the regular season to the Super Bowl, ESPN New York is your destination for football. We've got crazy fans.
If the Giants somehow beat the Cowboys, I'm going to take a dump on your head.
You can feel good because you're a damn football team.
Expert analysis.
Marcus Spears joins us now. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Hall of Famer Steve Young.
He's kind of our resident general manager, Louis Riddick.
We got Mike Tannenbaum right now.
And all your fantasy and wagering needs. This is ESPN New York. We are football.
Well, you just heard Dan Hicks, golf's greatest rivalry tees off at Bethpage Black, and the guys are bringing you all the action, energy, and passion straight from the course. Don't miss DiPietro and Rothenberg tomorrow morning, only on ESPN New York. It's brought to you by Michelob Ultra. No matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, a superior taste worth playing for. The official beer sponsor of the Ryder Cup. Okay, I have a guy. I got a guy at Yes who is one of the smartest statistical minds ever. He's kind of like my brain in the booth. His name is James Smythe. So we put out a one sheet before every single broadcast, which is extensive. I mean, if the public saw it, it would blow them away. So what James did today was break down Judge against Cal Raleigh. First, let's look at the American League leaders in major statistics. So Judge leads in average at 328. Jacob Wilson is second at 315. So Judge, in all likelihood, is winning the batting title. Judge leads in on-base percentage, 455. Second place is George Springer at 392. Judge leads in slugging at 681. Raleigh is second at 598. Judge leads in OPS, 1.136. Springer is second at 959. Judge leads in runs, 133. Raleigh second at 109. Judge leads in walks, 121 to Raleigh second with 95. Baseball Reference WAR, Judge has a 9.3. Raleigh has a 7.2. And in Fangraphs WAR, Judge is 9.6, while Raleigh is close at 9.1 because Fangraphs WAR uses a little bit more of the catching framing stats. So here we go with head-to-head, Judge and Raleigh. In batting average, Judge 328, Raleigh 248. On base percentage, 455 Judge, Raleigh 361. Slugging, 681 for Judge, 598 for Raleigh. OPS, 1.136 for Judge, Raleigh 959. Judge has 51 home runs, Raleigh has 60. Judge has 109 RBIs, Raleigh 125. Runs, Judge scored 133 runs, Raleigh 109. So Raleigh leads the American League in home runs and RBIs. Judge leads the American League in average, on-base percentage, slugging, OPS, runs, walks, total bases, and both of the best-known versions of WAR. Judge could make 105 straight outs. 105 straight outs, go 0 for 105, and still have a higher OPS than Raleigh has now. Raleigh has obliterated the record for homers by a catcher, has the 10th 60-homer season in MLB history. And believe it or not, though, 5 of the previous 9 did not win the MVP. Ruth was not allowed to win in 1927 because of a strange rule that previous winners could not get the league award, so Gehrig got it. McGuire lost with 70 to Sosa's 66 in 98. McGuire and Sosa both hit 60-plus in 99, but Chipper Jones won the MVP. Sosa did it in 2001, but Bonds hit 73. So I think there's going to be a fascinating battle for the MVP. There's still 4 more games remaining for both guys. There's a chance that Raleigh could break the record that Judge holds of 62 home runs. Now, I am not going to sit here and insult your intelligence or disparage Cal Raleigh by saying that there's no way possible for him to win the MVP. But I also don't like to have my intelligence insulted when people say there's no doubt that Cal Raleigh's the MVP. How's there no doubt? When Cal Raleigh leads in 2 categories and Judge leads in every other significant category by so many points that it would be a blowout if Cal Raleigh didn't have 60 home runs. So if Raleigh wins the MVP, would it be a travesty? Of course not. He's having a transcendent year. But to say, well, he has 60 home runs, he leads in RBIs, there's no doubt, that's crazy. I think that Judge should win the MVP. And if he doesn't, well, then Raleigh is going to earn it. But I also believe that Yankee bias plays into it and Judge fatigue because he's been so great that I think we're kind of bored by it. I'm not, but maybe some of the writers are. I think there's going to be a fascinating vote. But please don't say, well, Raleigh has 60, he's the MVP. I think that in itself is folly. We'll come back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We've got our 2-pack for sure. I hit both games last week, so I'm over 500 for the season. That's exciting. We'll talk about the Mets and the Cubs tonight. We'll talk about the Yankees and the Blue Jays, where they are, whether the Yankees are alone atop the AL East or remain tied with the Blue Jays, who are playing the Red Sox tonight. Exciting time to be a sports fan, and we'll break down the Giants game with Jackson Dart. That'll be against the Chargers, and obviously Monday Night Football with the Jets against the Dolphins. Again, we'll be back again at 1 coming up. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. So in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at 1.
Hey, Yankees fans, hit your